Secret friends, unite!
Welcome to the Secret Friends Unite podcast, episode 538. This is your guide to the geek side, and I am one of your hosts, Todd Oxtra, reporting for duty. It's been a crazy weekend. Injuries, the Mall of America, lots of football helmets at the Mall of America. Very interesting.
I'm trying to put this together in a story. You were in the Mall of America, you got assaulted with football helmets, and now you are paralyzed. You can't walk.
No.
Is that what happened? Okay, good.
No, my son injured his leg, and yeah, it's kind of crazy. So he's kind of on the couch right now on the bench. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, we are here to record with Charlie Carden. Another week, another episode.
I know, and we're on hiatus next week because we are together in Chicago having a dude's weekend with our mutual friend Brian Cole. Brian Cole is probably my oldest friend. Honestly, I've known him since I was 10. But he lives here in Michigan. You live there.
So junior high together? Is that when you were actually in class together? Or?
We moved in. No, he's a year older than me. So we moved into this house where I live now. In April and I own when I was 9, and Brian is your age, so he's a year older. So he became friends with my brother. And when my brother was friends with a kid across the street and this dude named Lee Zavadil, who I've mentioned before, and Brian. And Lee and Brian couldn't be any less alike, but they were all into computer shit and Boy Scout stuff. And so they all... Oh, I said computer, and you shush, Alexa. And so, yeah, that's how I knew him. Now, Brian and I and we ended up running in some similar circles, but we didn't really become friends until we both lived in Lansing. It was after you graduated, and he and I would hang out when I lived in the apartment by myself. That's when he and I really became good friends. But yeah, I've known him since I was 10 and he was 11, if I was to hazard a guess.
But did you actually go to school, or are you not in the same schools?
No, we were in the same school. Yeah, he's an
EGR. You started in so you get to know. So you basically junior high, I guess. Would that be junior high or elementary school?
It would have been beforehand. Yeah, that would have been elementary school. Elementary school. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Now that we've settled that mystery, that is history. So now it's time to talk about our Patreons.
Absolutely. These awesome folks on our Patreon, Secret Friends Squad over at patreon.com/Secret Friends Unite. They get it all. Exclusive programs. We've been making them for 2 years now. So there are dozens of great shows. Shows come out early. Shows have no ads. There's an exclusive channel over on our SFU Discord. You join up 7 days for free. Half off your first month, and stay on board for as little as $2 a month after that. So you're losing money if you don't do it. And I can't really quantify the math, but it's the truth. It's the truth. By not spending that money, you're losing money. I don't know. Folks like this know the deal. My good buddy, Derek Trevelyan, the figure dude, Francie, my wife's hairdresser, Luke Laura, friend of the show, and Mr. Xbox Expansion Pass, and my uncle, Tim, down there in South Haven, Michigan. Also, these great folks, John Sedorf, Brendan Myers, Corey HD, Matthew Keel, who I spar with about music. He was all up in your business talking about Steely Dan.
Good for him. Somebody has to talk about him.
Oh, my buddy Kurt Krug, who I call my unofficial agent. He has helped us out greatly, meeting a lot of people, doing a lot of those great spotlight interviews. Tanya Lee, Chipotle Bear, Famous Seamus, Cam the Movie Man, Jay Newport 007, Prozac Man, a.k.a. Darth Prozac, and Mr. Freight Conductor. Thank you all for your service. Again, patreon.com/Secret Friends Unite. 7 days for free, half off that first month, and then stay on board with us. You will be glad that you did, but not as glad as I'm sure Daredevil was at the end of issue 138 when this crazy nightmare was over. So, all right, I did your intro. So now you got to tell me more.
So in this week, we got this covered. Yes, Daredevil 138, the man without fear. On this cover, we are face to face with a mummy with a cape and glasses riding a skeleton horse. And he says, "You came here to rescue Karen Page, Daredevil, but you've only succeeded in destroying yourself." And then crashing through the hopefully it's not on the second floor window is is Ghost Rider, and we'll see about that Death's Head. And it says extra special guest star the Ghost Rider, the most supernatural hero of all. I guess Brother Voodoo would have nothing to say about that.
I was going to say now a point of order. It says extra exclamation point special guest star. He is not an extra special guest star, because I was about to say what is an extra special guest star. So
extra. Read all about it in this issue where I guess he is Death's Head. Because there was another Death's Head.
That was what I was about to say, too. So this guy was obvious, but I think he's called Death's Head, too. I think that's the actual name of the character you're thinking of, because
he's a Marvel UK character.
He's got a big like helmet head with like oversized teeth. It kind of looks like a caricature.
Yes.
So that's what so that must be why he's Death's Head too. So I don't know if that means this is an ongoing character. I'm wondering, is this Karen's apartment? Because the window looks really ornate for her just basically being an administrative assistant. She must do pretty well. Or was she kidnapped? That's why she's wearing a frock and by a fancy lamp. Oh, man, but would she wear that to work, though? It kind of looks like a nightgown, almost. Don't you think?
Charlie,
the jury's still
women's fashion in the year this comic came out is unknown to me.
And that follows up with the next question. With a 30-cent cover price, I'm going to put this as coming out in 1978. Maybe that was 35 cents.
76.
Yeah, the year of my birth.
October. Yeah. All right.
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
Okay. You want me to break this down for me, or?
I mean, obviously, Kieran made a deal with Mephisto, but he was headed off on vacation to maybe the Caribbean, so he had to outsource to come and get Karen's soul. They hired this guy who does contract work, and the helmet hides a mysterious identity that I have a pretty good idea who it is. The horse is probably also a rental, I would think, because again, if he does contract work, he can't afford a full-time skeleton horse. I mean, think about what they eat. I mean, okay, maybe they don't drink water.
I don't know.
There's costs associated, I'm sure, that would make it prohibitive for him to own a full-time ghost horse. And I think Ghost Rider was just driving by because that's what he does. He's on patrol, literally with, and he's so inconspicuous with the flame shooting out of his head. Nobody ever sees him coming. How did I do?
Not very good. Apparently it was hard to track down actually what happened in this book, because if you look at like Marvel's official page, it just says Karen Page makes her long-awaited return in a calamitous crossover with Ghost Rider. This was illustrated by John Byrne, written by Marv Wolfman. But then if I go to another one, this is from mycomicshop.com.
That's not a Byrne cover though. That's not his art. I don't think. Is it?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I'd have to look really hard maybe to see a signature. I don't know. Can you tell Byrne's signature by sight?
Yeah, I don't see a signature. Sorry,
I didn't see any other. I didn't see any other artist. It's attributed to anything else. But here we go. Dee Dee is in San Francisco looking for a kidnapped Karen Page and clashes with Death's Head and the Smasher. Appearances by the Stuntmaster and Deathstalker disguised as Death's Head. Story was continued in Ghost Rider 20, and the letter to the editor was from writer Peter Sanderson. Fun fact.
Peter Sanderson was the guy behind the Marvel Universe handbooks. He was the head researcher.
Wow. So that's how we got started, maybe. Your letter to the editor was so impactful that we had to hire you on the spot.
We're going to give you a job. Fun fact that just popped into my head when you said that he was looking for in San Francisco. In Daredevil Born Again, that is where Karen moves to after Foggy is killed. When she comes back and visits him, how are things in San Francisco? So,
is that where Venom went to?
He was there in the movies, but
no, I mean he
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't
With his
think they're
Brooklyn
hanging
accent
out.
or whatever it was.
I don't.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we figured out that he had a untraceable accent and he wore a Detroit Tigers hat. So that, just a mess all over the place. Oh my God.
All came together, yes.
Well,
So there we go, Charlie.
yeah.
Nobody was successful, and I guess somebody was masquerading as Death's Head. So I've never heard of this Death's Head before, so I don't know anything about him.
I've got it. It's really easy to figure out who's masquerading as Death's Head because your notes said. What do your notes say? Who was being? You just said it a second ago.
Masquerading?
Yes. My point is that whatever it is you thought, totally incorrect. It's obviously our senior news correspondent, Madam Webb. Now, she was 76, but I think she'd owned that horse since it was born. It died, and she transformed it into some kind of hellion. But these days, she's much less occult focused because she works for us. Good, clean work down at the corner of Hollywood and Vine, giving us all the latest scoops of news going on. So let's do it.
Now it's time for Madam Webb's Rumors and News. Take it away, boys.
Thank you, Madam Webb. Well, it's been a hot, sweaty summer, and that means Madam Webb decides that the less she shows, the more she gets paid, or the more she shows, the more she gets paid to put clothes back on. So it's a great way to make money in a hot summer. And she can then buy that big ice cube that she sits on to get cool.
Oh yeah, very, very, very sanitary. All right, up first, it's a good time to be a Spider fan, I hope, as there are now 5 confirmed and rumored Spidey films now in development. My absolute first question, without reading another note, is Spider-Man in them? Do we have more of the Spumco? Yeah, do we have more of the return of the Spumco? Yeah. Yes, we do know that we're going to have Spider-Man Brand New Day next summer, and that is going to be the MCU associated release of the summer with Sony, because our other official MCU release will be Doomsday, which will be for the holiday season, because they don't want to go head to head with themselves because Mando and Grogu also comes out. But yeah, we're getting this one. I know we have a date of July 31. So that's weird. That kind of puts it in the same slot where they put out Fantastic Four, which even if Fantastic Four had been a bigger hit, it's still then competing with, because our summer movie competition is coming to an end. We all know that if something grabs legs early and has 60 days as opposed to 30 days to complete the summer, it's got a much better chance.
It's Shang-Chi, right? It's gonna have it's gonna be a big ending movie, so it may put us in a scenario where that could be it'll still keep making money for an additional 2 to 4 weeks after we finish. So
right.
We won't really know the true impact of that movie on our summer wager, which is going to suck.
Exactly correct. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I don't have in front of me, obviously, the date when Mando and Grogu comes out, but I predict, not that I'm expecting to finish last in our competition, or at least second. So I obviously didn't have a great handle on what was going to knock it out, but Mando and Grogu to me seems like an early favorite to take the prize, because it's still beloved because people love Baby Yoda. That's just what I think. But anyway, I digress. Separate topic.
I'm trying to figure out what other movie is going to be launching in July. Is Moana going to be the big 4th of July film by Disney, and that's why they're not doing it?
After Lilo and Stitch, I'm not. But anyway, let's pivot back on topic. Yeah.
Okay. So
right.
So that's the only that's the only live action film. So the rest are all going to be animated by Sony, and it's all coming out of the Spider-Verse. So we know that the next Spider-Verse film, it feels like it's almost never coming out, is now June 25th, 2027. That movie was supposed to come out in 2024 from what I remember. It was like a year later, and it's like, nope. And I'm like, okay, so that must have meant that they're essentially remaking the film.
So this is coming out a month before the live action film, almost to the day.
Correct, because Sony doesn't handle any of the distribution, so it's
they're competing with each other. They're competing with each other, which just seems weird.
I mean, it will have already versus live action. All of its film. It's summer of Spidey, so at least they could say that, No, it's a year later. This is a year later, Charlie.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry.
So no, we're all wrong. So this is a year later. Yeah.
But what you're saying is true. It could be the summer of Spidey just based on that. So that's very exciting. But it is insane to me that this movie is coming out, 3 years later, and you just don't really stop to think. You're like, oh, it's an animated thing. Can't they just have guys drawn in a room and whatever it is? But just like like one of your video games, the production of designing all that shit, and putting it out and stuff can take and can be vastly expensive because they're paying, April works in the software world, so I know how much money those people get made and the kind of stuff they have to jump through to get things done, fixing things and writing code, doing all this different stuff. So yeah, it's wild. But it's another reason why.
Also, the last one ended on a cliffhanger, right? The other one ended on a cliffhanger. That sucks to have that. And then the art style that they use, creatively, it's just kind of crazy because it's not like you could say they're going to use the same art style like every other animated film, so they can just plot it out now. And they also apparently the Lord and Miller, they kind of play it off the cuff. They make a lot of changes as they're going along. In animation, that's hard just because the scrap stuff. It's not like you can just write it and say act.
Patton has a great bit about doing punch-ups, punch up a script, making it funnier. And he says, it's one of my favorite things to do, but I got involved in doing it with animated movies. And so I come and I read the script, I give them notes. They're like, whoa, we're not changing anything. This is a $70 million movie and it's done. We need you to write jokes that someone will yell off screen to make the movie funnier. It's just a great bit, but that's what I think of.
Yeah, you can't animate it on the fly as it's going on. Oh yeah, we're gonna do this, as it goes.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. The next one is they're doing they have finally released a spin-off that sounds interesting to watch, and this would be around Spider-Punk. So Hobie Brown of Earth, blah blah blah, I can't remember, was a very popular character in the second Spider-Verse movie and was voiced by Daniel Kaluuya, who is, again, he's an MCU alum and, of course, a Jordan Peele alum because he was in Get Out. A surefire hit, but it was revealed.
It's really hard to understand, though. I will say that. His accent in this is like the worst British accent where it's kind of muddled and
he is British, so it can't be the worst British. He's not faking
it. But there's a lot of shows, Charlie, when they have British people with very deep British accents, they do subtitles. I mean, this is like reality.
Yeah, I just like I said, Outlander just came back on, and I got subtitles on for that because you want to listen to these people trying to speak their Scottish
brogue. Take off your mask there so we can hear you. Maybe you're getting a little muffled like Bane.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So
this is essentially it looks like we're going to basically get spun off characters from the Spider-Verse, to your point, which is a different take. Now we're going to get all spiders. And, but it's going to be.
Whoa, don't you remember Spider's Man? The guy who's just spiders in the suit.
Spider-Men, as you want to do like that. But it's going to be interesting because it's not like you have spin-offs of Iron Man with other Iron people, right? Or you have spin-offs of Thor with other Thors. I mean, you tried to with the other one you saw. So, I mean, does that work? Is it too much just of the same type of character? They're different enough, obviously, but Spider-Punk doesn't exactly have a deep history of like foes. And,
right.
So yeah.
Well, and again, you're right. They're full tilt leading into the animated properties because the other two, and I'll just mention them quickly, and we can blend them all together.
These are the Venom
and all three of these are, and Spider-Woman, who we saw appear again in the Spider-Verse, and they flipped the script on that character. Now Jessica Drew, was she pregnant? A pregnant black woman?
Yes, she was.
Yes, which was Jessica Drew did have a baby, but she was white. But you know what? Update stuff for the times. Who cares? Shouldn't really matter what color she is if she portrays the character in a faithful way. That's really what matters. So yeah, they're spinning off something that's been popular. Venom has not been a part of the Spider-Verse, and I don't know that they're looking to make that a part of this. I don't know.
I think they should. It. Well, do I really want a Venom standalone, or do I want him to be the villain? I want it to be a villain within a Spider-Man movie because he's already had a series, and it's like I feel like we've been down that road, and we haven't had a really good Spider-Man versus Venom movie, right?
And it was popular in its own way, but the quality wasn't there, and it was diminishing returns as it is with most sequels. But yeah, why would you not have some, a villain that is certainly for this generation the most associated with Spider-Man, or we'll say one of the top 5. You think, of the ones that appeared in live action movies, that's probably what the general public recognizes as Spider villains. So Green Goblin or the Lizard or Dr. Octopus, you know what I mean? And then Venom, unfortunately, through the third Tobey Spider-Man, and then obviously the movie's on his own. So, okay, so let's lay odds.
I was going to say the last approach. Oh, I was going to say the last approach you could think is maybe doing something like the Flash Thompson Agent Venom, or something where you basically take a different approach to Venom versus Eddie Brock again, just being the lethal protector. Yeah. I think that bit has been played out.
It's just well trodden ground. Okay, so here's my laying odds. Of the 3 projects, if only one of them is going to make it, which one do you think they're going to pick?
Well, it was already announced Toby Brown's going forward. So this, like I said, now there's
okay. So that one was already announced. Of the other 2, this is easier. Of the other 2, I think it's pretty easily going to be Venom because it's more recognizable. It's got name recognition.
This report says Spider-Woman movie in the series. Now, is it just a Spider female? Because it does say it's unclear. Would it be Jessica Drew Spider-Woman character who was in the movie, or Spider Gwen Stacy? And I think that is the character they should do because she's such a big part of it. Almost like
absolutely.
So I don't know why they're not doing that unless they have plans to do a movie of her eventually. But it just seemed like that's the one I think should have a movie because I think she has such a big following already. People love that character. Right. Giving her more stuff to do would be great. But I don't know. Maybe have a team up. Spider Women. That'd be fun too. I'd take it.
Spider Women. Oh, they would say, when did Spider-Man get woke? They'd start bitching about that too. Oh, you can't win.
Oops, all women. But we can't have that.
We can't have women. The women. Oh, yes. I don't know. But anyway, as we know more, we'll find out. All right. Resident Evil is the next story. I feel like I've watched a lot. Isn't that the one with what's her nuts? She was the director's wife.
Yes, Mila Jovovich, Thomas, one of the Anderson guys, not the good director Anderson, Thomas S. It's like the other Thomas Anderson. Yeah. Not Wes Anderson either. Other. It's yeah.
Wes Anderson does all those crazy movies, right? I think I just watched the Phoenician Scheme, and it was like
Resident Evil movie, like in Saturday Night Live, where they did the Wes Anderson horror film. Perfect. Yes. So
wow.
So we are getting we're getting a new Resident Evil. Well, they've tried with Resident Evil so many times, and it failed horribly. But apparently they're going to hire Zach Krager to do a new take on it. And the interesting thing about him is he directed Barbarians and also Weapons. So take a guy who goes crazy, does really good films, and give him a property that he could play with and take his own take on it. It would be interesting. I think this is about the only way you can make it work because we've already seen horrible Resident Evil films, even a horrible Resident Evil TV series, and it just doesn't work. I think it's just time to move on. So this would be the good way to do it. What do you think, Charlie? You've seen both movies now. You've seen the guy's chops. And what do you think?
Yeah, that dude. I mean, I'm an enormous fan. I'm sorry, I had to ping April because I can hear the TV coming through the walls here. So I'm like, what are you deaf? So I had to send her a note. Sorry. But enormous fan. And like I said, I'll talk about Weapons in a minute here. But I would like to see it take, because you're right. I mean, it's an interesting concept. I'm trying to remember. Resident Evil is all about zombies take over a city, and aren't they? Or no, it's not. It's like a gas gets released and it makes killer zombies or something, and they're trying. Like the whole series is about containment, right?
And the Umbrella Corporation. You find out.
Yeah, that's right. Gotcha.
They're trying to make genetic weapons and things like that, and then the first game is in a mansion, and then it expands out to Raccoon City, the city, and then
City.
Then it kind of the series has pivoted so much. Like you had one series where it started off where the president's daughter was kidnapped, and it was in this strange European country, and then you had to go through this like old gross village, and they had like a weird Napoleon like short person. And then it was so weird. And then they've done werewolves. They've done like deep woods Louisiana. So it's gone everywhere. So they could do anything. They even had one in Africa. And it was a co-op.
How many of them have there been of the games?
So many,
Like-
Charlie. They even had a typing. No, didn't have a typing game. That was Typing of the Dead. So House of the Dead, where you had to kill zombies by typing out letters. But they've had too many
K-I-L-L.
but the new ones are great. I love those. But yeah, I think this guy could save the day. I mean, it's zombies against police and other characters, so it can work. And he loves the games apparently. So, and he can kind of pick his own project. So if he's picking this, I mean, maybe it's payday time.
Yeah, right.
Who knows?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, he could be picking a duffers that are like, and here's $50 million. Direct our piece of crap. Okie dokie. And then it's tax right down. Who knows? All right. Well, we'll know more. We know more. Okay. So some news announced in the MCU corner. Now, this was a long rumor, but I follow Todd Stashwick, who I like very much, on social media. He's been in London for like 4 or 5 months. He just got back to California, and he's with all the folks at Star Trek Las Vegas. But he's finally announcing that he is playing Paladin, who is a Marvel character who is a bounty hunter in the Vision Quest show. So obviously that is completed filming, or his portion of it is completed. And you have the nice gal Orla Brady playing Friday, and she was the sidekick in Schitt's Creek, if I'm not mistaken, because I saw a post with the two of them side by side. Am I correct? No. She is another character from Star Trek. I'm thinking Edith. Edith will be the sidekick from Schitt's Creek. Orla Brady was Picard's love interest in seasons 2 and 3
the
of Picard.
Romulan, right?
The Romulan, which, her picture is right here. Yeah. So this is, it's Star Trek is becoming the MCU, and let's hope that rubs off faithfully. But the showrunner is Terry Matalas. I've met him. He seems like a very nice guy. I met him at Star Trek Las Vegas a couple of years ago. He reminded me a lot of the couple of times I've met Anson Mount. Anson Mount always, he's very quiet. He always looks very nervous when he's at a con. Terry Matalas kind of seemed the same way. He was like, I think he seemed just very overwhelmed, which I'm sure I would be in that scenario as well. But yeah, this I really am hoping is going to mean we're going to see some great stuff coming back out of Marvel TV again, because our last Marvel show was Daredevil, which was great, but again, inherited property. But they've had some kind of ouchy stumbles. There's no doubt about it. Loved WandaVision. I enjoyed the Falcon Cap, but I know a lot of people didn't. Moon Knight, I was kind of willy-nilly on. Secret Invasion, no one with 2 brain cells enjoyed it. There, I said it. You can come at me if you want to. What are their other shows am I forgetting? Live action.
It'd be easier to say what are the good shows. It would be easier to say what were the good shows.
Okay, so back to you. What were the good shows?
No, let's move on. My biggest concern is WandaVision came out in January 2021. So by the time this comes out, it's going to be 5 years since the show. We have not seen White Vision in forever.
He's been on a very long vacation,
and I don't see any mention of any date this will release. Is this a 2026 release or 2027?
That was the word that it was 2026, but also Emily Hampshire is the person I was thinking of. James Spader returning as Ultron. Clearly, he's the big bad. Ferran Tahir was the very first villain in the MCU. He was the guy that kidnapped Tony Stark in Iron Man 2008. And I thought he was dead because it looked like that's what Jeff Bridges killed him, but he didn't. And some other names. Somebody from the Fall of the House of Usher, Tania Miller, not picturing her, and I'm not even going to attempt that other name, but from HBO's franchise.
Malika, and then he's a young guy, and Tania Miller, which I love that show. She was the black daughter from
the Black Daughter.
Yes, who was
casting her
doctor.
as Jocasta, who was a silver robot, so it'll be a voice, I assume.
And she shaves her head, so it's pretty easy to just have makeup and not worry about your hair
to make you silver.
Doesn't Jocasta have like a bob?
And you're absolutely right.
Like a metal bob.
Her I would love to reach and show you the figure, but I just moved my figures, and that one I believe is out of reach. Yes, completely out of reach. Sorry.
Did you know that Jocasta is a figure from Greek mythology known primarily for her role in the Oedipus myth There you go.
She
The
was
wife of Oedipus.
she was created when Ultron was holding Henry Pym hostage. He said, "Take the brain patterns of your wife Janet, who I'm also holding hostage, and put them in this robot. She will be my wife." And
The Bride of Frankenstein.
believe it or not,
yes.
yeah, exactly. Believe it or not, eventually Jocasta became a quasi Avenger, and then she got killed, and that was in the 70s. So. Yeah. Oh, I know. Sorry for the big spoiler. But anyway, I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this project because it's rooted in stuff that's related to the Avengers, which Avengers is one of my core loves in Marvel. So, fingers crossed. All right.
I am curious what they do with this. I'm curious what they do with the show. Because we had that cool Vision series where he basically formed a robot family, which was really cool.
Right.
Are they gonna do something like that, maybe, where he because he's going to maybe do something the exact opposite of Wanda, where he doesn't change everybody, but he just creates his own family because he's trying to duplicate that.
That would be.
I don't know.
That would be so weird. Why wouldn't he just go back to Wanda then? You know what I mean? Oh, that's right, because she's dead. Whoops, sorry.
Can't, Charlie. Can't. And hopefully he's not going to try to, convert the world to bring her back, because that would just be too much of the same, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they really do have to hopefully find a way to push it apart. So anyway, when we know more about a date, dear listeners, we will let you know. Moving on,
I respect the talent, so I hope it goes well.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. I do.
I respect the talent, so I hope it goes well.
Yes, no, I heard you. But I have a question for you.
Oh, okay.
Can there be only one?
Yes.
Highlander, the next story, man. Come on now. Pick up what I'm laying down. Oh, I'm sorry. There's only one, not a sequel. But what's happening with Highlander these days?
So yes, Henry Cavill is really excited to get back into having a franchise, because right now he left The Witcher and he no longer is part of the DC universe, and he's going to be working on Warhammer and some other things. So he has to finally start acting in something again, because you got to pay the bills. So he's been behind getting Highlander rebooted. So he is going to be in this as the I guess it's going to be Connor McLeod. I think that's what they're going to go after. Yes. And then apparently Drax, aka Dave Bautista,
apparently
will
Drax
now be the Kurgan. I don't know why they call it the Kurgan. Basically, it's another Highlander who's been killing them across the centuries to basically gain all their power. The quickening happens. They get the lightning through their body and they become powerful and live forever.
Yeah. Wasn't that Clancy Brown's role when in the first film? Was he the Kurgan? Yeah, okay, very good.
Movie. Yeah. I don't know if we're getting Queen to come back for the soundtrack, because maybe they need some.
I don't think so.
Brian May needs some money. I don't know.
They're not bringing back Sean Connery unless they're going to unless he truly is a Highlander and he's just.
Well, we don't know. We never saw the body, Charlie. Did somebody cut off his head? So yeah,
I really hope that would be disrespectful. I hope not.
That'd be I want to be my last wish is to be beheaded, so I don't come back.
Just do it at the funeral, open casket.
Yes. Russell Crowe is going to be playing Ramirez. So the role of
Sean
Connery.
Oh, there we go. Okay,
yeah,
very good. So I'm not at all familiar with the Highlander after the first film, which I feel like you and I watched it for something, or I ended up watching it for something within the last 2 or 3 years. I hadn't seen it, but of course was very familiar with Queen and the song and the "We Are the Masters of the something of the universe." There's something of the universe. Masters of the Universe? No. Whatever. But yes, Batista and Rusty Crowe and our main man. So this is going to be with all these people. I'm assuming this is a film.
It's a film. It's behind. Yeah, the guy behind the John Wick franchise is behind directing this. So obviously we'll have good action. Knows how to make action films. Very cool. The question is, the Highlander was a perfectly fun science fiction type movie, fantasy inspired.
Right.
That was quirky and fun with the Queen soundtrack. So it had a vibe to it. But quite honestly, outside of that, everything else was trash. I mean, there was that Highlander TV series with Adrian Paul, and then you had a spinoff called The Raven. There was a bad animated series.
The Raven.
Typically limited return on investment with the series, because it truly is, there can only be one. unless it just becomes very. What's the point? Is he going to investigate crimes and be like a detective, immortal detective? I mean, what's his purpose, right? Because that was the whole thing with Sean. He was just trying to live in peace. Even though he lived forever and he had to deal with like people dying. So there was that kind of thing. But so I don't know. And there can only be one except for the Kurgan, right? Who keeps following him. So I don't know how it works.
Oh my goodness. Well, as I said, this was simply talking about a director and casting, which means if filming happens before the end of the year, it's 2027 at the soonest is my feeling. But yeah, I'll be interested to see it. I mean, you got some big names. Okay. So Todd, you and I both not very fondly remember 1997's Batman and Robin, which was the very last time that the character of Robin graced the silver screen, but now he's coming back. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, there was that pseudo in the Nolan films where you had
I'm drawing a blank. 3 names. He's a 3-named guy.
Yes, Tommy from Third Rock from the Sun.
Third Rock from the Sun. Yeah, it was. We're going to draw a blank on his name, unless they say it in this. I don't know. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's right there.
Yes, that's right. There. So they basically threw it away that he might become Robin in that because at the end of the Dark Knight, basically.
Left it to your imagination.
He left away and, kind of faked his own death. So kind of cool. Yeah. So at that point, we've got him in the animated cartoons, the Batman 66 series. He's been the head of the Teen Titans Go. We've got Dick Grayson. So the character with so much background in history has had a literal, desert of appearances in live action on the big screen.
A desert.
So we are hearing at this point, there's going to be a new movie coming out called The Dynamic Duo, which actually sounds very fun. I was looking into this. They're going to use this really unique animated style for it, Charlie, and it's going to feature the 2 Robins, Dick Grayson, Jason Todd. So it's going to be kind of a team up of Robins. Very cool. It's animated and it's a different take on it, which is cool. I love that DC still wants to do animated projects, which is great. Marvel's getting into it now too, which I love.
And on the big screen. Yeah. So not just there. Because they've always owned, really on a home video release, their animated stuff output in the last 20 years has been superior.
And Batman Lego is great.
Screen.
Yeah, and Batman Lego was great. And they did the Teen Titans Go to the Movies, which I thought was fun. Didn't make a lot of money, but it was still fun.
Yeah.
And then we had Super Pets, so it's not everything works.
I enjoyed Super Pets. Unfortunately, I gambled on that. So this is a stop motion animated movie. So what would I compare that to?
Well, if traditional stop motion is going to be like Nightmare Before Christmas, things like that, where it's
there we go.
But this one is supposed to use a unique technique, which I saw a video of it of someone doing the technique that they're going to use. And it was pretty amazing. I'm like, wow, that is unique and different. So I'll find something that shows what the animation style is, and I'll probably share that. But yeah, it's not like the old Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or Frosty, which would be weird if they did, but why not? So that one is definitely happening, which is cool. Low stakes, but I think it's good to do a mix of different projects. And then we have Brave and the Bold, which is supposed to be Damian Wayne and Bruce Wayne basically teaming up because Damian Wayne has become a big. Yeah, he's become a big part of the Batman mythos in the last 15 years or so, I'd say. And, the son of the grandson of Ra's al Ghul, Talia al Ghul. And it's kind of a neat take on Robin because he is way overqualified for the job because he was raised an assassin. And Batman's just trying to not get him to kill people on his recess.
Trying, so he's kind of like the like if he had a baby who was the Terminator, like Small Wonder. He's Small Wonder.
Yes.
They're trying to get the Small Wonder girl to kill people. So, well, that's cool. And yeah, I couldn't be any more excited about DC Studios, which is its real name. So call it DCS if you have to call it something, because they're crushing it. They've got a clean track record. The things that they've turned out have been great. May it continue to be so, because James Gunn is following this simple business practice. We'll make a movie when I read a effing script.
Apparently the Batman 2 the script has been delivered. So that movie has a script now. And apparently there's rumors that there may be a Robin in that film, which would be kind of crazy because it'd be weird because it's a young Batman.
Here's my question. If the script was delivered, did somebody pick it up?
Lost in the mail.
Oh, man, another delay. Terrible. All right. Well, that takes us out of the news. Todd, the Geek Easy awaits. Neither one of us is there, so we both have to take an Uber. I guess we're racing. But I don't think I'm going to win because the car that pulls up is a Prius. I think the battery is half dead. And the guy is, he's listening to Sirius XM, but he's listening to the one that has all those terrible commercials with the exception of this familiar old chestnut.
Hey, Secret Friends Unite, let me tell you about Zencastr. We use them for our show, and now they're supporting us. Zencastr is now the all-in-one solution making podcasting easy. It's the ultimate web-based podcasting solution. Provides high-quality audio and video podcast production and hosting. With a full suite of professional tools, podcasters can seamlessly record, produce, and publish studio-quality content, all from one dashboard. Being a creator has never been easier. And we chose Zencastr because of the ease of use, high quality output, and it makes it super easy for our guests to come on. We had multiple solutions we tried before, and Zencastr has just been the best fit for us. Why Zencastr? It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sounds and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. Have you ever worried what you sound like? Zencastr's post-production process makes you sound buttery smooth. It automatically removes those ums and ahs in your recording. It removes those awkward pauses in conversation too. Set the right podcast loudness and levels while reducing background noise with the click of a button. So if you're interested in making an easy, high-quality podcast just with the click of a browser button, go to zencastr.com/pricing and use my code SFU1. You'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. Now back to the show.
Talk nerdy to me. Talk nerdy to me.
We're sitting in the Geek Easy, cover band's playing, drinks are poured, and we are ready to get our nerd on. So a show that I started and then I kind of dropped off because something distracted me, I went back and finished, is Man on the Inside. And
help, I'm on the inside, let me out.
And this is a really good show. It's comedy, drama. A dramedy, I guess the best way to put it. Ted Danson, he is retired. His wife just passed away from a battle from Alzheimer's. He is a architect, and he is looking for something. You could kind of see something's missing from his life. But he's still vibrant, and he still wants to do something. Mm-hmm. So he answers basically a want ad, which is kind of interesting. Basically, they're looking for someone to do some detective work. So he gets hired essentially by a detective to basically act like a resident in an old folks home to determine who's been robbing their residents. So I only got the beginning of this, and it's really, really good. Like the waitress from It's Always Sunny is Ted Danson's daughter in this.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And the cast of characters is great. Like there's characters like Sally Struthers is in this, and there's other characters and it's got what's her name from Rosa from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, who's also in Twisted Metal.
Oh, okay.
She plays like the resident advisor, so she's there. So it's kind of like Only Murders in the Building if this was just like Only Robberies in the Building, kind of comedy.
Right.
This is really layered with a lot of emotional elements, especially for Ted Danson, as he gets to really know these residents. And it is it's wonderful.
Cool.
It's really good. I couldn't recommend it high enough. It is, like I said, it's a good mix of comedy. And I think Michael Schur did this. So I think the guy behind The Office, I can't remember. One show, basically just a great, or maybe The Good Place. I can't remember what he did before, but
that really sounds like it's worth it. And I'm surprised because April is the Netflix person. She's watched something on Netflix upstairs right now, I'm sure. So I'm surprised this hasn't come up. But that does sound really good. And I enjoyed Ted Danson. We're almost finally we got Time to Kill show is Cheers. And we're like like probably 3/4 of the way through it. We're almost done with Cheers. We're in like the I think we're in season 8 or 9 of 11. But it's he's great, and I mean, he'll always continue to be Sam Malone, but he's great in everything he does.
I mean, this guy, the guy who made this, he did The Office. He basically was behind Parks and Rec, also behind Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and The Good Place. So talk about a guy with a history for making good shows.
With all hits. Although I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's
from Ann Arbor, Michigan, Charlie, and he is essentially my age, boy. 75. But then he went to Harvard.
That sounds like somebody Kurt knows, so I wonder because he's a local. Kurt in interview when a lot of people who are come back to Michigan who are famous to do a show or whatever, Kurt always seems to get them. So who knows? Yeah. So I should ask him. That's a great
show,
question.
Well written, funny, characters good, and it's a lot of older actors, which is cool too. Which is very fun.
Yeah.
So,
it's good.
Highly recommend it.
Good.
And finally rolled into Wednesday. Yeah, so episode 1 and 2, watched those. So I'm in again. It's kind of fun. We got some new characters in this show
in season 2. So you're current.
That's season 2, about, right? Episode 1 and 2. Yeah, and I like a lot of the new characters that are back. They're going big on Pugsley this season. Now he's also a resident. Yeah,
right.
Which
a resident,
just a little goofy and weird.
A resident. Yeah. It's not an insane asylum, though it kind of is. But I do love and had to look it up. The music instructor is Billie Piper from Doctor Who. But
I noticed that. I wasn't sure. Yeah,
under a big wig. I think I commented this to you and John in our chat. She's under a big wig, and maybe her makeup's a little different. But I didn't pick her out. But I started looking her up on Wikipedia. She had a career as a musician back in England before Doctor Who. Didn't know that. Had a couple of singles. Kylie
Minogue, kind of, actually, in some ways.
Yeah, do. It's fun so far. There's 4 episodes out now, I think. So we've also gotten through 1 and 2. But I'm digging it. Yeah, I do. I do like when the actress Wednesday Jenna Ortega, right? I was about to call her Jenny. It's not Jenny. Yeah. It's Jenna.
No, it's Jenna. Don't call her that. She'll whip slap you. But I mean, it's you're seeing kind of like it's sophomore year, so you've got changing relationships, deepening of the characters. Lurch is a little bit more involved this season, and we're going to get some characters obviously brought in, like Morticia's mother's going to get involved. So Mama. Then there's discussions about her sister. But what I liked though, I felt like Gomez was kind of a secondary, wasn't really involved at all. It feels like he's getting more involved. At least Guzman's great, so I feel like he's now going to be more involved, which is very fun. So I like the show a lot. The writing at times is not very good. It's a little on the nose, not exactly layered. But you know what? It's okay. I take it for what it is. Obviously, it's more geared towards a certain age of audience. And
they're trying to obviously make the Addams Family more popular for the teen crowd. So you're obviously it's not going to be layered like I thought the films that came out in the 90s, they were it was a little more subtle, the humor in some ways.
The guy from Man in Black, did those, and it was more about the adults in that rather than the kids. Kids were there.
And Todd, do you love that your Addams Family doppelganger, Uncle Fester, in this is played by Fred?
I'm wondering if he's going to show up. I am, because he was only in such a short period, such a short amount in the first film. The first season, he had more of a role this season.
Did I get past episode 2? And because there was a flashback where he shows up. I don't know.
He's not in this yet. He's in a flashback, and we did find out. My favorite part was Thing had an alter ego where he had a mustache. I love that. That was great.
Oh my God, that was good stuff. So I got to buckle down. But those are on Netflix. I think it's a weekly drop, but it's multiple episodes. There's no rhyme or reason. You got to look it up on IMDb if you want to know how many are coming up.
They're splitting all their big shows because they want to get at least 2 months out of people is all they ask. Just 2 months.
We just want to give us 2 months. We'll come back. Well, speaking of a 2-month kind of streamer, Todd, we talked about this months ago. Freaky Tales came out when I popped
I saw it was on HBO Max.
Yeah, I turned on my HBO Max last night, so I did tune in. And this is, I don't have any of the details about as far as what the background is on this and anything, but we got a very layered, interconnected kind of fun story that takes place over a couple of days in Oakland, California, which is a somewhat rough area of the Bay Area, but it's really focused around that. And the Freaky Tales was a song by local rapper from the 80s, Too Short. And then
From the Ghetto Boys?
They cast a character. I think.
Or was he separate?
Was he the guy? Was he, because there was a little person, which I believe is the correct term. Bushwick Bill.
Yeah, and I think he died.
Yeah, he did. No, I don't think he was in the Ghetto Boys because they didn't have two small people in the Ghetto Boys. They just had Bushwick Bill. Plus, that would have been East Coast. He was very clearly West Coast, which is how they paint him in this movie. And it's his interactions, the Too Short character, are also include a female rap duo. One of the two of them is Ironheart from the MCU. That actress, Dominica Thorne, appears. But it's also centered around a basketball star from the Golden State Warriors, played by the guy who is Payback in Top Gun Maverick, one of the pilots. So I'm like, oh, that guy looks super familiar.
And it's from what I remember, it's a real basketball player he's portraying as well. It's kind of a crazy night of things happening. I saw some of it, and it's like, that movie just looks kind of like a Pulp Fiction-esque type of movie.
Very much so. Yeah, you've got Pedro Pascal as a muscle for hire trying to turn his life around. You've got a role for Ben Mendelsohn, which I will not reveal. But it's all really interrelated. So highly entertaining. It's an hour and a half, so it's not a lot of heavy lifting. Maybe it's less than that. Maybe it's only 60 minutes. I can't remember now. But tune in, because it's definitely fun. But also, speaking of very layered stories, and then we went and saw this on Thursday. That was our night out. Was Weapons, which is the second film from the director we were just talking about. Was it Zach Kreger? Was his name?
Yes. Zach Kreger.
Gave us Barbarians back in 2022, 23. Which was a great film. And again, Pulp Fiction, kind of pulpy, told a little bit out of sequence. And this is broke up. Each section of the film is based around events transpiring as the film moves forward from their point of view. What we know from the trailers is that in a town somewhere, and you have a little girl who you never see or meet doing narration, coming up saying this is a true story and blah blah blah. But there was a third grade class taught by this very nice young woman who is Julia Garner, of course, the Silver Surfer, and the fantastic Ruth from Ozark, that she walks into her classroom one day and only one of her 30 students is sitting there, because every other kid at 2:17 the previous morning sprung up out of bed and ran out of their house like this with their arms like this and disappeared into the night. Nobody knows where they went. And so the police investigate. The town turns on the poor teacher because they think she had something to do with it. And you just keep unraveling this mystery as things move forward until you finally found out who the culprit is and what happened to those kids. And I will absolutely tell you, in no uncertain terms, if you're hoping for a happy ending, I'm not going to tell you one way or the other. But what I am going to tell you is this is a can't miss movie. Go see it. It's done very well at the box office this weekend. It's a big surprise. Brought in about 43 million, which means it could even find its way into the back end of our top 10, which is crazy. Yep. Because again, I think we're talk with John tonight, and for one of our first episodes here in September, we're going to have our wrap up where we present the trophy. But there's always a film or two that turns into a dark horse. But we've had two graphic horror films this summer, this and Final Destination Bloodlines, that were big hits. And it's just, how do you know? How can you predict that in any way, shape, or form? You know what I mean?
It could have been Scream, whatever, or not Scream, but I Know You Did Last Summer. Obviously, that fell off.
Total bomb. Yeah.
You had Ballerina that we thought maybe would be picking up because of the heat of John Wick, because that movie's just going crazy. Doesn't. So we never know. Animated films, sometimes do good, sometimes they do bad.
Right.
But it's fun to see a movie like this. This guy obviously has some heat. Barbarian's kind of nowhere, got a lot of buzz. I remember seeing it. I'm like, this is kind of a crazy film, different
Big
than I
time.
expected. And then with this coming out, and then we've got, the guys between like Long Legs and that. So we've got some really inventive horror films coming out that aren't necessarily just repeating a formula, which is very, very cool.
Yeah, you're getting a story that keeps you guessing. Yes, there are some jump scares in there, but really it's the story. It's like, okay, you're discovering a mystery. Is you're building a mystery like your gal Sarah McLachlan said back in the day, baking a pastry. So, and then finally, Todd, you and I were talking about this in the pre-roll. I'll just touch on this real quickly. Again, on Netflix, this is like the third time we've come back to Netflix. The Hunting Wives is a new hypersexually charged show that Kurt said, watch this, man, it's really racy. So I'm like, okay. But it's starring Brittany Snow, who I first came to know in that show American Dreams back in the late aughts, which was basically kids who appeared on American Bandstand in Philadelphia and then their lives and stuff, and just very, kind of a sitcom, but a little bit edgier. And then Malin Ackerman, who had I'm going to show my boobs as much as possible clause in her contract because she's got a reason to take her top off in every episode. So it's about this husband and wife and their son, that the husband has a new job that moves them from Boston to a town in Texas where they meet a bunch of super stereotypical Texas people, including a group of rich wives who don't work. Oh, my job's raising the kids, but their husbands are all super wealthy.
This is like the Real Housewives of Texas, but it's a
correct.
Show.
But it's a scripted show that begins with you're seeing it framed around a sequence where an unknown person is murdered in the woods by being shot 3 times. And then you got to figure out who did the deed and why. And it's 8 episodes. It takes you right to the end. And instead of ending, I don't credit them for this, but they do a start your engines by giving you a cliffhanger. And why give a cliffhanger?
And a spin-off. I'm like,
why give a cliffhanger in a network show? 99% of them get canceled.
How about Fishing Wives or Cowboy Fan Wives?
Cowboy Fan Wives. Tailgater. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Is this a half-hour length show or is this an hour show?
It's an hour show, which again,
you
and I are never fans of that. We're never fans of any hour show because it's like, knock it off. You just don't need to do that.
A show like this that is I guess it's like what is it, Melrose Place? Those type of shows. Yeah. They were always an hour long. Dallas. I mean, come on.
44 minutes.
But I love that Dermot Mulroney is in this, so I can confuse him with somebody else.
Yeah, he's also 90s singer. There's a guy who looks just like he did that song. Oh, Duncan Sheik. He's Duncan Sheik. I always thought they were the same guy. And who's the other guy? Dermot Mulroney. No, not Dermot Mulroney. The other guy. God, it's just on the tip of my tongue. Thank you very much. They have the same initials, and it's practically the same damn face. I remember Dermot Mulroney was the very unpopular president in the MCU in Secret Invasion. So I'm the worst president on the worst show, and I'm a one-termer because he was replaced by Harrison Ford. So, hey, take it or leave it. It's there to watch. But that's the end of the Geek Easy for us. Todd, I've got my phone out. My Air Qantas app is engaged. We've got to get to the land down under. Hologram Tina and the mutants await for us to talk about that bone that Todd just can't let go of, the post-credit scene. Let's do it.
Welcome to another edition of Thunderdome!
Thank you, Tina. That means someone gathered for a topic or game to be entertained. And this week, we are talking about the post-credit situation.
Todd, that's your bone. There's your bone. Chew on that bone.
So what I'm going to do first is give you a little history of the post-credit in films. Now, you probably say, the MCU is probably the first one.
Doesn't look that way.
You'll be wrong. So the first original post-credit scene was in 1966, The Silencers. So if you remember the series of films with Matt Helm, he was kind of like a knockoff of James Bond, an American one. Matt Helm, he did Dean Martin played the character. He also had James Coburn doing another spy, kind of a fun series of films. And then basically at the end of it, this was how simple it was. Basically, Matt Helm lunges on a bed with scantily clad women with overlaying text reading, coming up next, Matt Helm meets Lovey Kravitz in Murder's Row. So basically,
Whoa, hold on. Lovey craves it, dude. Come on now.
Oh yeah,
Come on. Read between the lines of the Oxford. Give me a break. Well, and it's and it's funny. The second one, which also came out in '66, was a Woody Allen movie, which was also something sexual. I'm shocked.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so essentially it's just leading into maybe something's happening next or just a fun scene after. So from then though, I mean, it's kind of interesting you've got maybe one a year, 68, 2. I'll just go through the numbers. 1971, there was one. 1972, Snoopy Come Home. Got one, apparently. 77, and then there was, look at this way. I mean, so you got 66, no, none in 67, none in 69, nothing in 71, then 5 years gap to the next one. Then 78, there was one. But in 79, you got four.
Oh, I could tell Meatballs needed one. That was a Bill Murray movie, right?
Muppet movie, Hot Stuff. I mean, some really weird. And then Being There had blooper reel, which is kind of the something that became a thing. 80.
I mean, that's very, very common. Yeah.
80 had 2, 81 we had 4, 82 2. So basically, we skip 83. Then we get 3.
Hold on, I'm at least seeing a pattern. The airplane films and the Muppet movies. Apparently always have one, and Smokey and the Bandit over to the Cannonball Run. So it's basically movies with music by Chuck Mangione.
Well, Cannonball Run was a lot of those movies. You know, we had the bloopers from those movies were very famous for being there. Then we get 84. We had 3, 85. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh my God! Look 86. At 87, 86 and 87, 5 or 6 each,
5, 6, 7, 8 and 86.
Oh my gosh! Top Gun and the Chopping Mall, which I feel like we talk about Master of the Universe.
Oh, I like this. 87, Master of the Universe, like you said. And it's basically Skeletor's head emerges saying, I'll be back. And you won't.
Yes. That was the post-credits, huh? And then you get some weird ones and ADH, Having a Baby, The Great Outdoors. 80. Oh, well, in Back to the Future 2 in 89 was just a trailer for the already mostly completed sequel. Yeah. But then we're into the 90s, and they just keep getting bigger. I did
love the New Batch had one, and Daffy Duck was in that. I love Duck. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the one from House Party because, it was a roof that got blown off, ended on top of the 2 police officers who were the villains, part of the villains of the movie. Naked Gun movie apparently embraced this. Was there one in front of the first Naked Gun? No, only Naked Gun 2.5 had one. But yeah, some of them are super random. None of them really. A lot of them are just clips and outtakes, blooper reel. Like that's pretty common. I didn't know.
Willie got one. Apparently, he popped up his fin. That's very notable.
I did not know that Clerks that they actually put the alternate ending after the credits. So that's interesting to me. I was from
94. So many in 94.
Oh my
Holy
gosh.
cow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Street Fighter apparently had one, which, man, I have to watch that movie eventually. It's so bad. 95, we had
more Muppets, Space Jam in 96.
Lee Murphy Power Rangers with the Rita Repulsa reappearing. 96. Holy cow. So many, including Space Jam. So once again,
High School High. Great flick.
Even Jingle All the Way, the greatest film of Arnold Schwarzenegger's career.
Right.
Got one. Then 97. We're just
two
too
Wiggles
many
movies.
George
Jungle,
Mr. Magoo.
Airbud.
That was Mr. Magoo was a Leslie Nielsen movie where pretending to be blind and running into everybody.
Right. Oh my God. 98. There's too many. That Blues Brothers 2000. Wow, what a classic. Armageddon. Oh boy. Yeah. Okay. Yes. The only Star Wars one that I think you'll see on this list is the sound of Vader breathing over the last few seconds of the end credits. I remember that was a thing at the time.
Okay, so I mean, and if there's any that jump out to you notable ones, Stop Me Charlie. But I mean, we get into the 2000s, and now we're getting so many in movies that are even
dozens,
just bad movies too that have them for no reason.
Yeah,
I mean,
Freaky
Friday, a movie we just got the sequel. It's basically a band performing. And so as we go through these, I'm trying to think. I mean, so I think everybody gets it. has become a scenario where there are so many, but I would say majority of the time, nobody expected to stick around. And probably the only time you realize that they were actually in the movie is when you watch the DVD, maybe.
Right.
Absolutely.
And
it was an expectation you would stick around.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. But as I look through these, the only one, okay, there's one after, oh, God, see, I didn't even know this. We get all the way to 06. X-Men The Last Stand, Professor X is shown to be alive after his, we did, okay, new body. I thought they actually showed his body, but I remember the scene because he wakes up in the body of a comatose guy. I thought they were making it sound like Patrick Stewart was still alive. Okay. Clerks 2, of course, but a lot of them, Ferris Bueller is the probably most famous.
I think the one people remember.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the one that
So
kind of.
it was 1986, but as you're getting into the mid-aughts, it's everything. But again, a lot of these are just bloopers and funny stuff. And I'm totally fine with it. That kind of stuff doesn't bug me that much. As long as they front load it so that as the credits roll, you're seeing funny ha-has that make you laugh. And then it ends and then you can leave. So anyway, at this point, it just becomes, too numerous to really quantify how many and what they mean. As I said, I kind of enjoy silly bloopers or whatever if they roll within like 30 seconds or 90 seconds. But I think the biggest problem, and Todd, I can tell this is the rub for you, and it certainly is for me, why I don't tend to like it, is that they're setting up. It's a start your engines kind of moment where we're firing up for this next thing, and it's something that it never pays off, or maybe it takes a decade to pay off, but more often than not, never. So it's like the bit with the X-Men that I talked about a second ago, where Professor X's consciousness enters the body of this guy who's on life support. We never see anything about it ever again. Nope. When we see him again, he's just Patrick Stewart without explanation. Yes. You know what I mean? So it's like that's the when they do so, like James Gunn was recently quoted as saying, and this was in reference to Superman, he said, I got really frustrated, he said for himself, with all of these post-credit scenes teeing up things that never happened. So the only way to have it be enjoyable is for it to be a throwaway that if somebody didn't see it or then didn't see it until home video, who gives a shit? It's not messing anything up for you. But when it's teeing up something that's like, we're setting you up for the sequel and the movie was a dud and it just goes into oblivion. But let's say the movie was a dud and you loved it and you're like, yeah, I'm waiting on Booty Call 4. I'm glad that they put that clip in there that showed.
Will return.
Yeah, maybe. Will return, maybe. But I'm glad they put that clip in there of showing that the villain wasn't really dead and he vows revenge. And then you're never going to hear from it again. That's just crappy.
Yes. So I think... So I'm going to give you some examples, Trey. So I pulled up a list of the worst post-credit scenes in movies. So very quickly, I'll go over this. We'll put it in the chat so you can see it.
Okay, please.
So you have a reference point. It's by Screen Crush, so it's reputable. And then there's one that's actually specifically Marvel. So I will put that in as well. So the one is kind of like more overall. So you have the two. So with this... basically the worst post-credit scenes in movies. So Inside Out. So by the way, folks, mid-credits is basically after the movie ends, and then post-credits is basically after all the credits run, meaning you have to wait till the music is shown and the Teamsters are revealed to then go into it. So Inside Out 2, apparently, yes. Basically, then Black Adam. So I don't know. Maybe we don't have to get into all of these, but I mean, Black Adam was dumb because obviously it was Superman going against Black Adam.
I can pick out a couple. Eternals, which was a bad movie anyway. They have Harry Styles and Patton in there. It's a really poorly animated Pip the Troll. Shazam made no sense. Venom. Well, I know in Venom, didn't that?
It was Cassidy. I mean, he was going to come in. I mean, so it kind of was a. In the Woody Harrelson, it wasn't too bad. Justice League, of course. Deathstroke shown, didn't lead anything.
Never again.
Spider-Man No Way Home. We got the he's going to be in the MCU. He's not.
Hercules and Love and Thunder, totally wasted. Thor: The Dark World. That one was valid.
I don't even remember what it is.
It was them taking the red stuff to the collector.
Yeah.
So that was that. I would disagree. That one was valid. Amazing Spider-Man, not valid. Green Lantern, and again, we talked to Mark Guggenheim not that long ago, or was it Ron Mars? We talked to both of them, but it was Guggenheim.
Ron Mars.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was Guggenheim. That's right.
It was Guggenheim, right? So sorry, guys. But yeah, that was, that again, it would have been valid had the film been successful, which it was not.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, which was a shitty movie to start with. There was
Too many
nothing saving
kings.
there.
Every king
Exactly.
you ever wanted.
And then they eliminated the character altogether. Argyle, I can't remember if I saw it, but I know you didn't like it. Yeah, the Origins Wolverine with the head going shish. Okay, fine. Morbius, come on now. Oh, worst one in history. Morbius was the pinnacle of the start your engines because it was Morbius driving to the middle of the desert to meet up with Michael Keaton, who was from another Earth, but reconstituted his vulture wings, which is impossible, and then says, let's team up and find Spider-Man who's not here anyway. It was just like, what? How low can you go?
Yes.
Goodness gracious.
So I would say there's good, the bad, and the ugly in all of these. And while I find they started off with the MCU was a big deal because it's like, oh, this is what's going to tell us next, because we don't know when we're getting the next film, right? We didn't even know what films we were getting next because we really didn't know. So that was kind of a cool thing. And it made it really interesting because you felt like, oh, this is going to matter. We've now culminated to its obligation. I feel like maybe the directors feel like they even have to do it. And the only way they really get around it is by doing something silly and goofy, right? So we've had that with Fantastic Four had the nice cartoon element to do the post credits, which, it kind of feels like, and so Charlie, with this, we have the mid credits and the post credits. So I would say, let's make a decision. Are you pro post credits or anti post credits?
Now, I'll answer your question with a question. When you say, because you just then delineated that they're two different things, are you asking me if I like one and if I like the other one?
Choose, which one would you rather have?
I would destroy post credits. Mid credits, it's not it's Sophie's choice because you don't know. If you want to do something serious with it, Fantastic Four is a great example. The movie's been out for a few weeks now, so I'm assuming that you've heard it, particularly if you listen to our show. They set up something very important that will pay off because we know it for a fact. It's a documented in production film.
There's a named movie coming out.
It's a named movie, right? And it was done, was that done in reshoots? Obviously, because when they started production of this film, I doubt that they probably were still thinking about Kang. That super okay with. I totally get it. Post-credit scenes will always be something that Todd, and I know what sparked all this is that you walked out of Naked Gun and didn't see the post-credits, right? Am I correct?
No, I did, but I had to wait how long to see it, and it's like it was goofy, it was fun. I just wish it had been the mid credits, to be honest.
Yeah, I was seeing that with my buddy Snedeker, and he unfortunately in the theater there's a close bathroom and a far bathroom. And he went to the far bathroom for some reason, and I had to sit there and I watched it. And then as I was walking out, he was on his way back, but he wasn't taking the time. He said, well, did I end up missing something? I'm like, yeah, but you know what? It was pointless. But again, the movie was a dumb comedy. So where do you find a point in that anyway? But yeah, when they got to jam something, like I think the Eternals was a very egregious, like, okay, you jammed a scene in here for something, and I guess they can't know right out the gate if the film's going to be successful or not.
But did it make any sense even?
Yeah, this is what
like a sword. The dude that's filming the movie, and then like
that was
blade.
That was you're right. That was post credits, and the thing that we described a minute ago was mid credits with Harry Styles and Patton. But yeah, you're right. The post credits on that was the most egregious example. You're setting up things that are not even in production. So it's not, we're embracing James Gunn's methodology of make it something silly. And if somebody walks out, so what? You can watch a clip on the internet. You can catch it when it comes to HBO Max. You just keep scrolling until there's picture. But yeah, to jam something at the end that ultimately is going to be a huge letdown. And again, I don't want to, I'm not at the same level of vitriol that you are with this, but that I'm very intolerant of. That I agree with you there.
Just keep it to one. Keep it to one. and then
Yeah,
make it the mid, and then we
make it
call it
mid,
a day.
and then people
And
can
then
leave.
if you want to have Ferris Bueller come back at the end and say go home because you realize this has become that's what I want Matthew Broderick to come in now in the next movie and just say
I wanted to say Matthew McConaughey, but
Matthew Broderick comes back as Ferris and say, "Are you still here? Go home." That's it, and we end it forever.
It's been 39 years. Go home.
Why are you still here? People have died in the theater. But yeah, I mean, so and to the point where some post-credit scenes or mid-credit scenes even have turned into that should have been in the movie. That's really gets frustrating with me. Like Black Panther 2. You don't just drop that he's a son in the. That to me was just.
That was, yeah.
It wasn't handled with care. That could have been managed in the film as a good moment versus now you get people that maybe missed it if they weren't paying attention, right? I mean, I don't know. But
again, it's another great example, and I don't think that film was unsuccessful. But the fate of having a third one, I think, still hangs in the balance. We don't really.
Ryan Coogler has got to come back for it. He's been really busy. He's been doing a lot of projects. The dude can. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's a passion project, but again, I mean,
that was now 3 years ago. 3 years ago, 2022. So even if he came back, would it be another 3 years before that makes? So now now the kid's old enough to be the Black Panther himself. Maybe that was the plan the whole time.
Maybe. And it is funny because it does remind me of something akin to this, Charlie. Do you remember like the secret bonus track you would find on a CD? Like maybe if you listened long enough, you'd get like, oh, it's something else.
The first one I can think of, and it was an older album when I listened to Billy Joel's 52nd Street, 1978. If you listen to the last track, big gap, and some guy comes back, he's like a jazzman. He's like, and then you hear music playing again. Or there was one on, I think, Bare Naked Ladies album in the year 2000. Maybe You Should Drive or something. The guy comes on, and it's the one member of the band that who almost died of cancer and also can't sing. They decided to give him a song. Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I think the redhead. It was. I obviously. But so I'm just thinking at this point, if there is a post-credit scene, should they do us all a favor and say, stick around, there's something else?
They need Matthew McConaughey to come out and say, hey, stick around. Well, yeah, but when you say they need to, how could you possibly get that message out? How does that message get delivered?
After the mid-credit. Say, stick around. Unless, because is this a conspiracy by the people that were in the credits to say, hey, we demand you make people stick around to see all the people that made this movie?
That was my thought process as well.
Is that the conspiracy?
As a counterpoint to that, is it a conspiracy for people who don't stick around and say, well, now I got to go see, I wasn't planning on it, but now I'm going to go see it a second time in the theater because I can't
just to see that scene.
I can't. It's like you and the episode 1 trailer in front of Wing Commander in 1998, right? It was the same thing.
Or just go to hang out at the theater and wait till the other one gets out and then go back in.
It's been since Endgame, but I've done that before. I've been like, oh shit, Endgame's playing in there. And I went in and I watched the last hour of it just because I'm like,
you don't even have a ticket anymore.
Well, yeah, the thing is, you don't have to. I think theaters don't really care because they've already got you in there to get money. So it's not like they are charging people more for sitting there. Like, oh, you paid for your movie ticket? Well, it was also 12 cents a minute that you sat in there.
That's an experiment. Go to the first film and stay all day. Just go theater to theater. Yeah. See what happens, Charlie. I'm sure that'd be great. Like, but bring a change of shirt or something to oh, it's not me. That was the guy in the blue shirt.
Mustache. Wear a mustache. Big hat.
Yep, exactly.
And glasses. Yeah, absolutely. So
one of my favorite things but the last movie I saw, this dude had a Ziploc bag of popcorn. I'm like, where the hell did you put that? It's summer. You're not wearing a trench coat, dude. Or are you? I don't know. Are you Kevin Smith with big pockets? Jinko jeans?
White Kevin Smith with his shorts that go up to his upper shins. That look has not changed in 30 years.
Great look, yeah. Trench coat and jorts. Oh,
jorts.
Yeah, love it.
You know my very strong objection against jorts.
Women still wear them. It's so weird. It's like women can wear jorts, men cannot.
With women, they call them capris, don't they? They just go a little lower. No?
Well, those are like short pants. Those are short pants, man. I'm talking about like jean shorts. Just jorts can be any size. Long, short, short shorts.
And
My
you're
dad
not
used to cut off his old jeans and
that
work out
was-
in the yard with cowboy boots.
That was a very much well. The cowboy
It's
boots
all
not so
socks.
much. The other did
Oh,
it cut
work
them
boots.
enough that the
Yeah.
pockets were hanging out. That's what women tend
Oh
to do.
yes. My dad did that with old jeans. He wore work boots with white socks pulled all the way up.
Wait a
My
second.
dad was
A minute ago, those were cowboy boots. So you're throwing off the visual. I like the cowboy boots.
Work boots. They weren't cowboy boots. They were work boots. Yeah,
Okay,
so.
well that's very different. Unless you're a cowboy and those
He
are work boots.
wasn't doing the Daisy Dukes. The cowboy boots. No, my dad was not trying to be a sexy icon out there.
I
He
was
was
gonna say-
working out in the yard, probably with a cig, pulling it
Yeah.
out with a tank top.
Yeah.
Anthony Oscar doing his thing.
I still mow the lawn in tank tops just to horrify my neighbors and to flex
No,
guns.
no,
get a
you're
little
not wearing a
color.
tank top. I assume you're wearing the old white undershirt. Tank top.
No,
No?
not a nice tank top. See,
It's a nice tank top.
there are outer tank tops and there are underclothes tank tops. The underclothes tank tops you buy in a pack of 3 and they're like ribbed and but no, the
Yes.
regular tank tops you would buy 1-to-1 and they're a nicer brand. We're really off topic here. So
I don't know even who sells tank tops these days.
I
Unless
do.
it's like,
The ones that I have that are the quote unquote nice ones are from Target. They're the Good Barrel or whatever their
color,
brand is.
white. What do they look like? Is there
Colored.
design?
No design, just colored, different colors. I got different fun colors. I'll bring a couple in Chicago. You can try if you want.
Now we know the difference between undershirts and tank tops.
And overshirts, yes. All right. So how can the industry fix this? I guess is to put a button on this conversation. What can be done?
Good question, because ultimately, the post/mid credits situation.
Has been going on for 60 years. What are they going to do about it?
Well, it has, but I would say right now it just seems to be the fact that it's now going to these other type of films where it's typically associated with superhero films. It's going to
Right.
something else. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like if you had your druthers, Charlie, would you rather they just go away and make it like a deleted scene thing that you could get maybe used to be on the DVD or maybe you could, but although digitally you don't get extros anymore. So I don't even know. Do you even get like the post? I guess you do. You just fast forward.
You get a post credit. You got to fast forward. Now, if you purchase a digital film, which actually with both Superman and Fantastic Four, which I'm going to purchase, this will blow your mind. I'm buying a physical version. And I'm going
With
to with the code. Yeah, I already have my Superman one pre-ordered, and I'm waiting on the Fantastic Four.
Like a steelbook or something. I know people
Yeah.
really in this.
Yeah.
Steelbooks are nice.
And
They're
I'll,
nice.
I'll get it, and it'll go on the shelf over there in the corner, so you'll see it in my background when I do. And the disc itself will go, in the binder that I have that kind of stuff in, or I may just put the disc away because I'm. As time goes on, first of all, I buy almost nothing unless it's like an old $5 movie. I'm like, well, I got to have that or whatever. But as far as buying something new, because everything is on streaming, but it would have to be super significant. Like Superman was great. FF was great. I want to have those. But the MCU movies since Endgame, I've not purchased any of those because they're all on Disney Plus.
Unless you do not subscribe to HBO Max or Disney Plus,
Right.
the likelihood you don't have the access to those films.
Yeah.
Other things, maybe not.
Right.
There's certain things that are just getting removed, which
Yeah,
is
right.
just very sad. But they're not.
Yeah.
But I do understand. Like, hey, it's great. Although I get the point where I'm like, man, what if they stop making DVD or Blu-ray? Like, people are still buying DVDs. Like, they still make. Like, who is buying DVDs?
They have that $5 big bin at Walmart. Everybody's seen them. If you end up getting dragged into
in the
Walmart,
clearance section, I saw like a DVD from a movie from 2024. I'm like,
why?
do you really want to watch that so your eyes can explode? The Blu-ray is like $2 more.
Right, exactly. Well, it's funny, even when and again, I've fallen victim to this, I don't do it anymore. When you do like a scan code and like say it's a DVD, it's an old DVD of mine, and it says $2 to upload as SD or $5 to upload in HD, and I no longer do the not upgrade because you're right, I can't take it. It's so gross. It's so gross. SD is so disgusting.
I still have my double-decker VHS CD or DVD recorder. It's underneath my cabinet in case I guess Brian needs another VHS player because I gave him my last one.
I was going to say, well, then I think it got free cycle. It might have gone from him to his mother back to me, and I don't have the remote. But it's also on a shelf on the other side of the basement here, and we'll probably never see the light of day.
So there we go, folks. We have decided that post-credit scenes are probably here to stay, and I'm never going to like it.
And well, and the more to the point, it's never going to get any better, because 60 years of the unstoppable juggernaut, they just can't slow it down. All right, well, this will be your last chance to hear us for a couple of weeks. Todd and I, as I mentioned at the top of the show, are in beautiful Chicago with our dear friend Brian Cole next weekend, so no show. Our other shows are still coming out because we don't often record them on the weekend, or they're not weekly. So you'll still be able to tune into Holocron. You'll be able to tune in to what's the other show that I'm on? The Star Trek one, Code 47. Oh. Yeah. Hello.
Code 42.
Code 42. Those shows will still be out normally, but we will be back the week after next with Topic Unknown. But after that one is when we'll have our summer movie wrap up. So we're making plans to do that. So until then, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Todd, where do people find you out there?
They find me on the Blue Sky at Todd Oxtra at Secret Friends Unite, and also the same on Threads. I'm trying to get better to like post something on Instagram because then it goes everywhere.
Correct.
In the Fediverse, or whatever,
that's what I do.
Which is better. So, but the problem is they make you post a picture first, and then all the stuff.
You got to post a picture or something. Yeah,
I'm trying to do better there, so at least it works. So that's kind of where we can find me at T Oxtra at Secret Friends Unite there as well. And then just to let you know, fantasy football season is starting up again, so I'll be starting back that show with Sean Nias, also Chance Sigali from the Nerd Chat, and also Eric Benenson from Season Gaming.
Good.
One Canadian, two Americans.
So the show's going to be longer. I always thought that show was too short.
Absolutely, it's going to show up. Probably we're going to record it on Tuesday. Probably drop on Wednesdays to help people get ready for their fantasy football, and then we'll be recording the next co-op mode with my new co-host Matt Kennedy. And we're going to do that on the Monday on August 18th, and that'll be out on Wednesday. So if you're interested in those shows, check them out.
We'll still be around. Good deal. And you can find me over on Threads and Instagram and Blue Sky at the C3 THECEE. Whoops, I lost my train of thought. THECETHREE. But as Todd probably mentioned in passing, the best place to have fun, safe, and awesome conversations about pop culture and geek stuff is our Secret Friends Unite Discord. Free to join, free to be a part. We would love to have you on board. If you look for us on Discord under Secret Friends Unite, if you don't find us, send either one of us a ping and we will send you a link because we want you there. But with that, again, friends, thank you again for tuning in. I'm going to tell you that sharing is caring and to keep on trucking.
Be the hero, not the villain.
In a truck.
Death's Head, 1 or 2.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and podcast services around the galaxy, as well as video on our YouTube channel. You can support Secret Friends Unite by becoming a Patreon member, get bonus programs and more over at patreon.com/secretfriendsunite. Join our Discord community for even more discussions on all things geek. For all the latest updates on Secret Friends Unite, make sure to follow us on Threads at secret.friends.unite and visit secretfriendsunite.com. Find our merchandise at TeePublic and Redbubble. Thanks for listening, and may the Force live long and prosper.